morning, guys. It's Tuesday. It's a daily dose of hope with Bill and Troy. We hope we find you wherever you're sitting in these United States doing well.
And what happens if they're like not in the United States? Can they still listen?
Yeah.
Because we do have alumni that like live in Canada, for example.
But we're not supposed to be crossing borders right now, are we? Or is that opened up now?
You can cross borders electronically via YouTube videos.
Oh, sneaky we are.
Yeah.
Well, if you're in Canada today, we wish you well.
Good day.
Good day, eh?
No, that's Australia. Golly, we don't even know where in the world we are.
No, I knew. I said, hey, you went with the good day thing. This is a knife. Anyway, we hope you guys are doing
Wherever
well.
you're at, welcome.
Welcome, indeed. Hey, listen, I was reading Psalm 38. David, now we're talking about what do I do when I'm hurt. David is crying out to God. He's like, people are acting treacherously toward him. He's in a lot of pain. And in the midst of it, he starts talking about, but I feel deeply sorrowful for what I've done. I know you've been talking about this is maybe the first way to launch into how to deal with our hurt.
Yeah, so the two things I see in that story of David, and think about this, probably some of the most intense hurt in that whole situation was from someone who was super close to him.
Yeah.
Okay? And so when you think about the fact that Saul and him were very, very close, like a father figure for him, and the hurt came from there, it makes it even more difficult. But that just reminds us of these two things. For starters, it's so encouraging to see David just owning, hey, this hurts. Hey, I'm in pain here. Hey, this isn't right. Hey, I don't like this. Because if we don't acknowledge what's really going on, if we don't acknowledge that we're in pain, then there's no way to resolve that pain if I won't admit and acknowledge what's really going on. And the other thing we see there, again, is this whole reality that hurt happens in the context of relationships. And Bill, when hurt happens in the context of relationships, almost always it's a two-way street.
Yeah.
In other words, even though I've been hurt, there's a piece of that relationship dynamic and a piece of that circumstance that maybe resulted in the pain that I've got to own. That's my part of the relationship dynamic. And so what I see David there doing is David acknowledging, hey, this hurts, but also acknowledging, hey, this is a relationship, and I know I've not been perfect in this relationship either. And so it's encouraging to see David kind of walking in this healthy way, acknowledging this hurts, but also being willing not just to say, see, look what Saul did, but to say, you know what? Hey, I need to look at my own heart as well. That puts us on a path of actually resolving hurt.
Yeah, and we see in the Psalms, David is almost an expert at crying out and acknowledging his pain. Is there a line we cross when we become self-obsessed crybabies? I hear my father talking to me.
Well, I think the reality is we ought not focus incessantly on the hurt that we experience in our lives, but we ought to acknowledge that it's there and then move into a process of resolving it.
All right. So admit that you hurt. It's okay to own it, to face it, rather than stuff it, avoid it, and do other things with it, act out inappropriately. And two, own your part of it, even if it's the indirect sinful nature of your life. We have to own our role in what happens in our lives.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, good stuff. We're going to talk more tomorrow. Hope
See
you're
you
doing well.
tomorrow.
Take care.